Hey, one of the strangest things about my particular body is the size of my traps. And I can't blame anything except my genetics. Of course, I train with a lot of complex exercises where I'm picking things off the ground like deadlifts and lifting stones, flipping tires, and power cleans. But generally, they're going to be huge. They've always been huge. The problem with that is I kind of look imbalanced sometimes, and some of you have mentioned in my videos that, hey Elliot, why do your shoulders look so small? Well, I really don't have small shoulders. I just have huge traps that look like big ski slopes that make my shoulders and arms look dwarfish, dwarfs the size of my other muscles. So I don't participate in too many aesthetic routines or aesthetic type exercises. Most of what I do is performance-based. But there is one set of muscles that I do often hit in an aesthetic way. That's my shoulders, because I need them to look a little bit more like my traps so they don't look so damn strange. So what I'll do is I'll just share with you really quickly my aesthetic shoulder routine. Really nothing magical about it, it's pretty simple. It's 3 exercises. Each exercise, I'm going 10 reps, then 8 reps, 6 reps, and then back up to 15. Now, as you know, that's a bodybuilding rep range. A lot of what I do when it comes to my complex exercises and strength training is like 3 to 5 reps. So let me show you these exercises. The very first one is just simple standing overhead press. Now, although this is an aesthetic building type exercise, I prefer doing it standing, even though I probably could handle more weight if I sat. The reason why I prefer doing it standing is because as I'm building the aesthetic appeal, I'm also working on structural integrity, and you know how important that is to us. That means when I've got the dumbbells in my arms and I'm pressing them over my shoulders, I'm also focusing on my particular imbalances, which would be an anterior pelvic tilt. I'm sucking my belly in and tucking my butt under. Also, for a lot of people, what that would force is a thoracic kyphosis. So a lot of people will end up shoulder pressing like this, right? And if they tuck their butt under, they'll be like this. So when you're working on full alignment, structural integrity, and pressing over your shoulders, you're also engaging your core and the muscles that support thoracic extension, your scapular adductors. Here's the way I do it. So I'll continue with another set of 8 using slightly heavier dumbbells, 6, and then I'll move up to a drop down set, 15 reps using lighter dumbbells. After that, I go to good old lateral raises. Lateral raises are one of those interesting exercises where the way you twist your hand plays an important role in how the muscle is stimulated. I don't know if there's a correct or an incorrect way to do this, but I often adjust by repetition to make sure that I'm feeling it on the lateral head of my shoulders. Right? So sometimes I'll bring it more in front of me. Sometimes I'm a little bit more out to the side. Oftentimes I'm working to get my pinkies up higher than the rest of my hand. Sometimes I bring it up a lot higher. And sometimes I just hit it in the middle range of motion. And then sometimes I load up, especially if I'm doing lower reps, and I just beast it up. So there's multiple different ways that I'll do that exercise. And then finally, I happen to believe, and I'm not a bodybuilder, it's probably funny for a lot of you guys to hear me talking this way, hitting the lateral head and shit like that. But in my experience, training the rear delts has done more for the aesthetics of my shoulders than anything else. And I think it has more to do with the fact that it forces external rotation, you see? So the minute I do this, my shoulders start looking bigger and better, don't they? Rear delt exercises force thoracic extension and external rotation of the upper arm, which is aesthetically appealing. And I also happen to think that building up the thick back just looks freaking awesome. You look powerful. My favorite exercise for that is rear delt raises. I happen to have this box here. that we use for jumping. When I put my head on it, it's nice and soft. Now, here's the thing too. You can turn this into a core structural integrity exercise by doing it without resting your head. And I've done that at times. But if I really want to load up and I want to add some serious weight serious resistance to the exercise, I just rest my head. I try to maintain good spinal alignment, but I just want to beast this weight up and train the muscle in an isolated way. Again, very strange to hear me say this. Again, this is one of those exercises where I might manipulate where my arms and hands end up based on how it's feeling in that particular day. So that's it. Hey, sometimes you just gotta do aesthetic shit, but performance is number one. Done.